Today we're going to take a look at my first attempt at a custom Lego build. What I decided to do was, probably about a year or so ago, maybe longer, this hospital set, technically called the Helicopter Rescue, was for sale at Walmart, on sale. And so I bought it and figured for the price it was a decent buy, but the hospital itself looked kind of lame, I thought. It had some interesting parts to it, or some interesting pieces that I did like. The helicopter was quite large, and actually, when you look at it on the building, it's ridiculously large. So I didn't like that part, but I did like some of the pieces in the helicopter. And then it came with an ambulance, a very small little build, but both the ambulance and the hospital, and the helicopter can be opened up, and you can actually fit a stretcher in both of them. And the set came with a pair of stretchers, and I liked that particular aspect. I thought the size was a little bit wrong. I mean, look at those two vehicles next to each other, just seemed kind of ridiculous. So I also ended up with a starter set from last year, and in the starter set there was an ambulance that's a much nicer size, and you can kind of see, comparing the two side by side, that the starter set one, the one with the stickers on the front of it, much larger. It's 6 studs wide, plus a little bit wider at the tires, as opposed to the 4 stud wide build from the hospital set. And this one also opens up in the back, and you can see that there's a stretcher in there as well. So it had the same play, but there's actually a little bit more room for minifigures, and you have windows on the side, and basically I just think the whole ambulance looks better. So I decided to take this ambulance and take the set, number 4429, the Helicopter Rescue set, and build my own custom hospital. And so what I ended up doing was the following. Alright, so this is my custom hospital. This is my first attempt at building a custom set on my own. It is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a good first start. It won't actually stay this way, but I'll explain how I'm going to change it up already in just a moment. But first, let me just give you a quick tour of it. On the top, you can see there is room for the helicopter, the landing pad. I'll take this off for now just to make it easier to move things around. And then on the bottom of this, there's a walkway for little minifigures to make their way to the front door of the hospital. You have the sign that is from the actual Helicopter Rescue set that I kind of based this on. And then over here, a little flower garden. You can see there's some dirt there. We've got a lamp in the back. We've got the same bush from the Helicopter Rescue along with the bench. And this awning or overhang actually allows a ambulance, the larger 6 stud wide ambulance, to pull right up to the front door of the hospital, drop off the passengers, and then continue on with the studded roadway. And you can see as I swing back around here that I've got the yellow and black stripes that was used for the garage in the Helicopter Rescue set, indicating to the ambulance driver and to the pedestrians walking on the pathway to be careful because there's other vehicles and passengers and stuff about. Staying on the outside for just a moment, you can see there's a little button there. That's for the automatic door opening. And in the very back, there's a trash can for you to throw out whatever it is that you need to get rid of before you enter the hospital. Swinging back out, zooming out just a little bit here, you can see the front of the hospital shares some similarities with the actual set that I based it on. Namely, this red arch piece is, or arch build, I should say, is actually the same exact thing. I kind of just liked it, so I kept it. Looking at the entire build, you'll notice that swinging all the way around here, there's a red stripe just to add a little bit of texture, or at least a little bit of a color interest to the set. And then this sticker is on the hospital set, so I put that on the front for now, although that probably will be one of the things that I might end up changing. And if I swing around just slightly to this side, you'll see there's a couple windows over there. Nothing really of particular note, just enough to let some light in. And then swinging the model around in the other direction, you'll see what looks like a strange opening here, but that actually is for the elevator, which is on the inside. So if I keep swinging around, you'll notice the top has the helicopter pad, landing pad, basically the same as what it was in the helicopter rescue set. Pretty close to the same thing there. But if I swing around here, we have a much more fully detailed hospital. I built this in the style of the regular city set, which is kind of with the open back. By the time I was done with it, I didn't like that. My hands were too fat to actually be able to fit in here and get minifigures out and move them about and kind of decorate the inside like I wanted to. So I'm actually going to, one of the changes is I'm going to actually complete this backside and build this instead in the sphere of the modulars with the tiles so that I can lift off each floor. I had to actually make a Bricklink order in order to get enough tiles. I didn't own enough from my rather modest collection. So in order to do that, so for now this is what the hospital looks like, but I thought it'd be fun to document it, and then perhaps I'll do another video where I show how it looks after I'm done with the sort of modularization of it, if you will. So with that said, let's take a look at what we can. Now, I'm not going to be able to zoom in everywhere, but on the base floor, you'll see that's the front door, kind of directly in front of you. Over to the side, we have the reception area, and again, this is part of the problem. My fingers are too fat, but that window actually will slide left and right. So whether the receptionist is in or not, or busy, maybe on the phone. There's a little waiting area right here. You'll see one chair there, and then if I swing around to the other side, you'll see another red chair, and in between them is a table with just a brick-built lamp. The receptionist has a computer to work on. There's really not much else going on back there. In fact, it's kind of some wasted space. I wanted to put in some like filing cabinets or something like that, but again, I didn't do it when I was building it, and so I'd have to take the whole thing apart to get my hands in there. And then it's going to be kind of difficult to see because of the light, but in the back there, you should be able to make out a doctor, but there's also a patient. That's the ER room, and on the wall there is a set of x-rays, which again, with the lighting being what it is, it's hard to see. And then if we swing over just a little bit, you'll see a couple of doors. The first door goes to the bathroom, and just a very simple toilet build there, nothing particularly fancy about that. And then the other door, this one that I'll open up, actually goes to the elevator. And now you're not really going to be able to see the elevator, but it does work. And I can lift it up and down using the pegs on the back. And actually this one is what allows it to go up and down, and then when I want to lock it on the second floor, you can actually push this in, which will lock the elevator on the second floor so you can safely have your minifigures come in and out. Now the elevator is up on the second floor. There's no way to make out, but there are a couple of lights there indicating that you're on the proper floor, and then again there's a door. Behind that, in the back room, you might notice there's a sticker tile that has a couple of clipboards on it, indicating that's a patient room. There's actually 2 beds and a monitor in there. We've got a doctor up front, just ready to help some patients. And then on the far side, taking up quite a bit of space, is the hospital cafeteria. And in that cafeteria, we have a clock, we have a table, we have a display counter with some tasty treats. There's a pizza. I'm trying to get my camera to focus here. There are some cookies, there's a cash register, there's a sink for washing dishes, and then there's a chef, and there is a broom to kind of keep things nice and tidy. And again, pulling back to get the whole thing in the picture, that is my first attempt at a custom hospital. As I said, changes are going to be in store. In fact, the final version will not look like this at all. I'm going to have the front, hopefully it will stay basically the same, because I like being able to have the ambulance fit in there just like that. I like the 6-stud wide vehicle, actually slightly more than 6 studs. I like the red archway here with the clear windows, so that will probably stay, but otherwise I want to be able to lift off each floor, so I'm going to try to make this a little bit more modular, and then I want to decorate the interiors a bit more. If I am able to, I might even add a 3rd story to this at some point, though for now I'll probably keep it at 2. So that was just a quick look at my custom Lego hospital. This is my first attempt at a custom model on my own, so any comments, critiques, just basically anything you want to say about it is appreciated. And thank you for watching, and I'll have more later. Bye.